What's going on, guys? It's Nick here, and in this video I want to take a departure from my usual automation stuff to talk about YouTube growth. As a lot of you guys know, I've grown my YouTube from a little over 300 subscribers up to, I think, 3,700-ish as of right now. Probably going to be over 4K by the time you guys are watching this. And a lot of people have sort of made notice of this meteoric growth over the course of the last little while, and just asked me some questions about like how I produce the videos, what my rationale is, how I decide what to talk about next, even like what my recording setup and my kit looks like. So what I want to do in this video is just break all that stuff down for you guys. I wanted to show you what a realistic YouTube ascension might look like for people that are really good at their craft and sort of know what they're doing. I want to talk a little bit about like the niches that I pick, the way that I respond to comments, just all this sort of stuff that's probably at the back of a lot of the people that are watching this minds. And they're like, hey, what is Nick doing? What's the purpose of all this? And you know, maybe if I wanted to build in public, how would I do that as well? So if that video sounds like something you guys are interested in, whether for business purposes or more just for like curiosity's sake, then stay tuned and let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna cover is just some stats and where we're at right now. And then I'm gonna talk about like my actual production process, my rationale, sort of the philosophy behind all this stuff. So here's what the stats look like today as of March the 2nd to 40. I enabled monetization yesterday. And so yesterday I made about $38.41. That's not accounting some of the affiliate money that I've made over the course of the last few days, which is nice. Some of you guys have used the affiliate links, and a lot of the people that are watching this may consider to do that in the future to help out your boy. But the money that I'm making from ads was never the point of this channel, and it's probably not ever going to be like the main contributor to my economic success. Really the purpose of this channel was to educate a large number of people, to float the idea of a community or something like that at some point in the future, and then also to provide so much legitimacy and respect and authority within the niche that I can get the sorts of automation jobs that I want to get in the future. Like the $20, $30, $40, $50,000 a month sort of deals that'll enable me to become even more financially independent than I already am. So anywho, this is the breakdown of the dashboard. We got views over here on the left. As you can see, I've been posting every single freaking day for the last 27 or 26 days, I think. This might be the 26th or 27th. So basically just nonstop. And you'll see here that the views at the very beginning of this, on February the 6th when I started, were basically none. And this is actually what I thought that it would be like today. I didn't think that I'd ever get more than 70 or 80 views a day, at least for the first like 6 months of recording. And so my mindset here was just kind of quantity and just to push out content so that I can quickly learn and adapt to what people on YouTube consider high quality and valuable and that sort of thing. And you'll see that pretty quickly within like the first maybe 7 days. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I was already starting to earn some respectable view numbers, right? Like 300 views on my 8th day, 500 views approximately on my 9th day, 800 views on my 10th day. And within like, 10 days or so, I'd basically, if you just take the average of these two, what's that, like 90? Within 10 days or so, I'd basically like 10x'd my views. And then I received like the first, what I'd call major bump in my views and my subscribers, which is pretty cool. So subscribers are what most people are interested in when they talk about YouTube, just because obviously subs have a lot more staying power, and subs are, I don't know, you can do things with subs, you can monetize them, you can sell stuff to them like courses and all that sort of stuff. So that's what people are interested in, and that's what this is what the growth looks like. Day one, I got 6 subs, 5, 4, 14, 7, 11, 8, 19, 30, 46, 50, 140, 314, that was a pretty good day, 369, 361, and then it kind of goes down a bit. And then it looks like I'm in some second sort of renaissance right now. I imagine one of the videos that I posted has gone sort of viral. People, I think, are sharing it in their communities and stuff like that. So that's why it's going up over here. And really, there are a couple takeaways to take from this. Like, I've started YouTube before, and I did reasonably well. I think I got up to like 3,500 subs. So, a little under where I'm at right now. The difference between what I'm doing now, though, and what I did then is what I was doing then was I like published 1 video a month, and I tried to put a lot of time and energy into that video. But realistically, because my turnaround time was so much lower on the videos that I was producing, it was really difficult for me to like learn what people wanted and explore a diverse number of topics, or at least enough of a diverse number of topics that I could kind of suss out what people wanted to hear and the things that people found important. And as a YouTube person or as a creator or whatnot, that is a pretty important part of your job, right? Like you press a bunch of buttons, and then you see, oh, when I press this button, people are louder, right? Like, so every time I press, people are shouting, okay, good, maybe I need to like build some infrastructure to press that button more often. It's a shitty example, but I think you guys get my point, right? These are pain points or issues that the audience is going through that you can then position yourself to help solve. And so in that way, YouTube is basically just like entrepreneurship, just in the information product kind of way. But when you're publishing that infrequently, like once a month or whatever the hell I was publishing like before, the rate at which you can do that is just so much slower. And if you contrast that with my publishing every single day, which, I mean, in the initial, I was totally ad-libbing. I had no idea what I was doing, or all I was doing was just like running through the successes that I've had in business and hoping other people would find them valuable as well. But you can see that they didn't really make a dent or anything until, I started writing about make.com specifically, and figuring out that the pain point that a lot of people had with that is that like there's just way too many nerdy explanations of how this works and not too many that are focused on funds and how to grow your business. So you can kind of see that pattern. So that's my mindset behind developing all this stuff. It was like, I'm going to move fast, I'm going to break things, I'm not going to be very good. I had really shitty thumbnails to start. Essentially, I had 10 people a day sending me emails being like, yo bro, your channel's awesome and you're going to take off, but your thumbnails blow, you got to fix those. I'll do it for you, and just pay me $5 or something like that. So I've since obviously changed that. I've done a bunch of minor optimizations that have improved the channel output. So yeah, that's nice. And then the monetization aspect, like I think a lot of people are going to look at the 3841 and then they're going to multiply it by 30 days and they're going to be like, damn, you're already making, $1,200 a month off of ads. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I suppose so. I'll probably make more than that. Maybe it'll be like $1,500 in the next 30 days, maybe $2,000. Depends on how much more I grow. But like, if you think about it, ads are such a small portion of the economic opportunity that YouTube represents. If you go on my newsletter, I wrote a blog post just a couple of days here called "Cold Leads Suck, but they make you a lot of money." And this is basically my breakdown of my philosophy behind why I'm starting YouTube and why I'm focusing on branding now. And if I could just TLDR this and summarize it, it would be that I'm very good at acquiring cold traffic to all of my business resources. And that's how, I've been able to make $1 million over the course of the last 12, 13 months. That's how I've been able to have those like standout months where I'm pocketing 48,000 freaking dollars, right? More money in 1 month than I thought I would be able to produce in like a year just a few years ago. So these are valuable skills, but they're also really draining, and they're also really fucking hard, if I'm being completely honest. Because you're always selling to cold people, cold audiences, people that just don't like you, people that are always skeptical of you. And so like my mindset was that I would start doing YouTube to help alleviate some of this, and just to see if there was like another alternative lead source that I might be able to build, where, instead of me constantly having to fight this uphill battle and try and, win people over with a pitchfork, try and sell them on some service and maybe get a few pennies for it. Well, okay, pennies is mistaken, but I think you guys see what I mean. What if I could change it so that, I provide so much value just through the videos that I create and through the branding that I've been able to cultivate and that sort of thing, that a lot of the leads in my audience, people that may have business systems that need help, they just come to me instead, and I don't have to deal with any of that stuff. And that's really been my whole philosophy here. The 3841 is like 1/100,000th of, I think, the total potential of building like a good, solid, successful brand. I have a bunch of conversations that I'm having right now with probably a few of you that are watching this, where people want me to build them out systems for $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 already. I have a couple of like partnership conversations that I'm having with people that own like micro private equity firms and stuff like that. If a single one of those deals goes through, I might be able to earn 500 times whatever the daily estimated revenue that I can imagine to make over the course of the next 2 months. And I might just be able to do that in one swoop, right? So the value really, I think, in YouTube, if you're approaching it from an automation perspective or like a high ticket service like I am, really isn't in the AdSense or in the revenue that you could make, but it's about like the connections and the serendipity that you're able to build, the branding, the reputation, the authority. I've also seen some knock-on effects from this where a bunch of my current clientele, as well as people that I'm currently in the process of closing, they will go out and just see me on YouTube. Maybe they've searched my name up on Google or something, and so it remembers the cookie, and I don't know, I pop up in their watch feed. But this has happened a couple times where they're like, hey, we just saw your video on YouTube. Can we chat? Like, I'd love to move this forward. And these are leads that, maybe just haven't talked to me in like 3 or 4 weeks, people that otherwise wouldn't have wanted to do it. So I'm having a lot of success there, both directly, I would say, just in terms of generating conversations, and then indirectly in terms of, like the impact of the perceived brand authority and recognition on my ability to close. So I kind of killed 2 birds with 1 stone, if that makes sense. So that's been really valuable so far. I was really inspired by this guy. I think it's Jackie Chu. Yeah, Jackie Chung. That's funny. I was really inspired by this guy. His name's Jackie Chu.
I built up
And a lot of you guys probably watch his channel. If not, like head over there and check it out. But one thing that you'll notice when you go to his channel is he has 10.3K subscribers right now and then 1.2K videos, 1,200 videos. You're probably thinking like, dude, what the hell? You know, you have how the hell do you have 1,200 videos? Well, the way that he does it is he posts every single day, sometimes multiple times a day, and he just sort of does like a little morning thing where when he logs on in the morning, the very first thing he does is just talks about the shit that he's going to accomplish that day. And he's really successful. This guy makes, I think, like $300,000 to $400,000 a month in profit, right? Like by any stretch of the imagination, this guy is loaded and he's going to make generational wealth, assuming he doesn't like completely fuck this up. But you know, the way that he was doing it was, you know, he's just building, or he's just moving fast and he's breaking stuff. And his videos are super unpolished. Like they're not really what I consider high quality production value. Sorry, Jackie, for watching this. But you know, it's obviously he's a smart guy and it's obvious that he knows what he's talking about because he makes a lot of money. So I was really inspired by that guy. And that was one of the main motivations behind doing this sort of like, you know, daily challenge, which has enabled me to acquire, you know, this many subs. So anywho, I guess the point that I'm trying to make is, yeah, like the purpose of YouTube for a lot of people that are probably watching this might previously have been to like monetize and make several $1,000s a month through AdSense. But I think if you look at anybody that's actually making a lot of money on YouTube, basically none of them depend on their AdSense revenue. It's probably like 5 to 10% of the money that they totally make, because what they do is the other 95% is like partnerships, or it's like some big affiliate brand deal or that sort of thing. So yeah, that's my mindset and my rationale. So how actually do I go out and then produce a video? Well, it's pretty simple. And I realize that I can't actually show you guys how I produce the video. Maybe I can use my phone. Okay, I don't know how this is gonna work, so this is gonna be the most advanced thing that I've ever done. I'm gonna take a video here, and then I'm just gonna like go in a post and then slap it on the screen. Okay, so this is what my setup currently looks like. I got like a big light over here on the left. In the center, I have a monitor. I got my camera right over there, as you can see. And then this is my shitty attempt at like what's called bounce, which is where you reflect some of the light back. And then over here is like, I don't know, it's like a softbox light again, but the way that I clamped it is just really stupid and it's not really working. Anyway, the idea is that this one over here is like my primary light. It lights the one side of my face, and then this one here is like my secondary, and that's supposed to do something, but I could not really be that bothered. And then what I'll do is I will just like go over here and then I'll click and I'll turn the camera on. And then I'll go into OBS Studio, which is right over here. And then I have like a little hotkey and it's like Shift Command 1. And when I do that, I go back to just looking at my face. And then when I go Shift Command 2, I go back to like, you know, doing this sort of infinite mirror screen share thing. And so in this way, I can basically minimize the amount of time that I spend actually producing or like doing editing and stuff like that for the video. And then I actually just do, I guess it's kind of like the way that like a newsroom works, you know, where like somebody's sort of manning the controls and they kind of cut back and forward manually between different scenes and shots and that sort of thing. And the reason why I do that, and I'm just going to turn this puppy off right now. Hold on. Yeah, there you go. I think that's off. Yes, it is. The reason why I do that is because I didn't want this to be a really high friction part of my life. Like I am doing a ton of other stuff every day. I mean, I'm probably working for 6, 7, sometimes 8 additional hours, whether it's on client projects or I usually have a bunch of sales calls every day. I'm doing consulting. Sometimes I'm traveling, right? So my whole idea was, okay, like I can't really make a YouTube channel and then go full bore if I'm spending 4 or 5 freaking hours a day, like recording and editing and doing all that post and all that shit. So my whole idea was I was just going to set this up in such a way that it was like as simple and as easy a part of my lifestyle as humanly possible. And that's more or less what I've done now. So usually, you know, sometime around, I mean, right now it's pretty late. It's like 2:53, but I'm also sick as hell this morning or this afternoon. But usually, you know, it's sometime in the morning after I've done some of my higher ROI activities. So maybe like a system build or I've wrapped up a couple of calls or something like that. I'll jump on here and then I'll either have a list of topics that I'm working through, like I did with the make.com course, which is right over here. And then I'll usually just like write them down. Then I'll just go through one after the other and then record. Or I'll source the ideas from the comments in YouTube. So I'll specifically go to comments down here. And then I will go find haters like Ray Fellers. I'm just kidding, man. Or Sonic 5, how could you? And then I'll look for questions actually. So how to do it is you go contains questions, there you go. And then take out I haven't responded. And then yeah, and then like if somebody says something like, hey, can you make a system about this or whatever, then if it makes sense and if I think it'll be able to provide value to the audience, then I'll do the system, and I'll just build it out right then and there. And then in this way, like my videos take, I don't know, they take basically the amount of time it takes to record plus a few minutes to pop it into Premiere Pro and then export. So very, very simple and very straightforward. I should actually cover the export flow now that I'm thinking about it. I'm just using Premiere Pro, which is like a, just a piece of production software. And what I do is I have a file here called, what is this thing called? Production template. And then in production template, I have like an adjustment layer here, which is just like a little piece of color grading. So just kind of makes me look a little sexier. And the way that I learned how to do that is I just looked up a bunch of Premiere Pro like video editing tutorials. And then I have some audio here, which is just like a song that I've gotten off of like commercially copyrighted, whatever, like library. And then I'm trying to like do something where I have this little animation here. I don't know how this is working. It's gonna be meta because I'm gonna put this in the video, but it's like a little animation that I've dropped in from a pack called Really Big Deal Titles. And then I just like write the title. And the whole idea there is just to make it a little bit more engaging at the beginning because most people stop watching after, I don't know, like a minute or something like that. So this just sort of claws them back, implies that I have really high production value. And then if you guys see, there's literally nothing for the next like 30 minutes before a tiny little audio clip at the end where I'll usually just like, cap it off and do like a summary or something like that. So my production flow is basically meant to be like, okay, I got the video. So what I do is I drag the video in here, apply a couple of the effects that I have, like the audio effects. Like one of the first videos that I put out, the audio was really, really low. And like 4 people were like, dude, your audio sucks, man. Those were the only comments that I got on that whole video. They were all just like, your audio blows. This shit's interesting, but dude, your audio sucks. So I like deleted it and then I immediately re-uploaded it with fixed audio. But that takes me like 10 seconds. And then I just select all, and then I go down to export here, media, and then I export it. And then on the YouTube side, what I do is I'll go over here to create, and then I'll upload videos. So I'll drag and drop it here. And then after you drag and drop it, you can select your title and stuff. I don't SEO optimize any of my work because I think that's just an additional level of friction. And my whole idea is I want to run as far as possible. I don't really care about running as fast as possible in the short term. And I find that if you focus on running far, you will usually actually end up running fast as well. So sort of like my little mental paradigm shift or hack. And if you're interested in reading about that, I wrote about that in depth on my blog here. Right over here, focus on minimizing friction. Anywho, so then I'll upload it, and then in YouTube you can add, and I don't remember how to do this off the top of my head. I think it's like a template or something. Yeah, upload defaults, there you go. Where I have a description template that I've set up with like a bunch of my affiliate links and that sort of thing. I'll always set the visibility to public, and then I have like a bunch of tags here that I usually use, and then I'll like customize the tags. So I've actually timed myself a bunch using this software platform called Rise, which is pretty awesome. And it basically just monitors what you're doing at all times a day. And then from here, you can actually see like the time that I'm spending on YouTube every day and like the time that I'm spending recording and all that sort of stuff. So on average, it takes me something like 3 minutes to do the editing. It takes me like another minute or 2 to like do the YouTube, like the title and add the tags and all that stuff. And then it takes me usually about 4 or 5 minutes to do the thumbnail. And the way that I do the thumbnails is I have a little Canva set up over here. So I've just like created a template. And all I did for this was I basically looked at like what I'd consider the highest performing templates that tons of other people on YouTube were using. And I noticed that a lot of them tended to have like this little white outline around them. And so I went into Canva and then I looked to see if there was a way to do that. It turns out there is a really easy way to do it. You just go to edit photo and then shadows over here. And then you can like add an outline or a drop shadow or whatever. And I just found that like all the videos in which I added this white outline around a picture of my face where I was like, tend to do way better. So just very organic sort of optimization there. And then I just have like text here. And my whole idea behind the video like thumbnail is I try and like make these two or three lines here. I try and make them match up. So I'll like make the below text really big, and then I'll make the higher text like really small. And then I'll drag in whatever software platforms I'm using here. And I'll basically just like Google Upwork logo, Facebook logo, and plop them in. And then I export them. And then, yeah, just add them to my thumbnail, and then it's basically it. There is one more missing piece to my workflow that I didn't talk about so far. I do also respond to comments quite a bit. And so my actual like production workflow takes me, I think on average, like 40 minutes a day. When you add up everything and the recording and stuff like that over the course of the last 30 videos or whatever. Note that some of my videos are much longer now. I think I did like an hour and 15-minute tutorial, so it doesn't apply all the time, but yeah, like on average, it's somewhere around there. But what I've been doing a lot more now is I've actually been responding to comments because I'm finding that comments are, one, I just love all the freaking questions that you guys are sending me, for one. Some of them are extremely interesting and, just make me so happy to read. It's also like, if I'm being honest, if I have a bad day and then I just jump into the comments, man, I feel incredible afterwards. You guys are like literally the most lovely, kind, and genuine human beings on planet frickin' Earth. The comments that I get every day are just stuff like what this lovely guy Karan just said, where he called me phenomenal. Like, good Lord, it's like a warm, fuzzy hug from somebody that you love, But anyway, that's not the only reason why. I don't just do it for validation. I do it for business purposes as well. Like I want to establish a reputation with my personal brand as being extremely authentic, extremely genuine, and I also want to be as helpful as possible. And the way that I see it is, some of these comments that I leave are pretty big and they're pretty extensive or whatever, but they might take me like 10 minutes to write. But then, these videos are probably going to be seen for the next like 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 years, right? They sort of exist on the internet unless we all nuke ourselves before 2030. Fingers crossed that we don't, then potentially they'll be here for the rest of the time. So the 10 minutes that I spend to like provide a bunch of genuine value to somebody, if you think about it, that's nothing in the long run of the amount of time and energy that comment is going to be in people's heads from now until the end of the universe. Like, I'm totally cool with it. I think anybody that doesn't do stuff like that is probably just not really paying attention to just how much value you can realistically provide people here by just being genuine, being honest, and being upfront. So yeah, that's more or less my strategy behind the YouTube. I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover. I am pretty tired and unfortunately quite sick today. So if I didn't, and if you guys have any more questions about what my strategy looks like specifically, just let me know. I'm more than happy to walk anybody through just what's going on in the back end. TLDR, seems to me like I'm paying off my mortgage just through YouTube AdSense, which is awesome. Got a bunch of great deals through YouTube that are on the go. I haven't signed or began working on any, but I'm at the proposal stage with a bunch, and some of these are really high ticket deals that are way bigger than what I was doing before when I was just selling cold. I really like everything that I do. Like, I love being able to take all this accumulated knowledge and my skill set and then provide value to people that are at varying stages of their own automation journey or business development journey. So I really enjoy the work that I do and I love logging on here every day. And then, yeah, it's just really rewarding when you see the work that you're doing is helping people. So I'm very, very happy to be able to do this. And I would say, like, qualitatively, if my life before, when I was just doing cold sales nonstop all day, was like a 6.5 out of 10, 7 out of 10, despite the fact that I was making a lot of money. Now it's probably like an 8.5 out of 10, even though I have yet to, sign an equivalent amount of money this month that I would if I were just doing cold sales. All right, I hope that answers all of the questions you guys have. If you got any more, again, leave them down below as a comment. Otherwise, please like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. Thanks so much. See you soon.